Hello everybody and welcome back to Cooking with Grandma. Today I'm going to be making 2 cookie recipes for my grandsons. I have 3 grandsons. There's tater tot, nader potato, and dill pickle. You can tell we're a bunch of foodies around here, right? All 3 boys have food nicknames. So the first recipe I'm going to make is for Pickle. He asked me to make some dinosaur cookies, and I have cookie cutters shaped like dinosaurs because they're all 3 love dinosaurs. And so I'm going to show you my recipe for sugar cookies, the roll and cut kind. It's real easy. All the ingredients go in the bowl all at once. It's not, mix this, blend this, add the dry to the wet, no. You just dump it all in. I call them dump and go sugar cookies because you just go ahead and put everything all in one bowl, mix it, roll it, cut it, you're good. So to get started, we're going to start with the flour. We need 3½ cups of flour. Half. I still haven't found those scoop measuring cups. If anybody ever sees them in a store in Canada, in Ontario, let me know. They were at the Dollarama for the longest time. They're measuring cups, but they were scoops, so they can fit into the kind of canisters I have. So if anybody out there sees them, leave me a comment below and let me know so I can get them. 2, 3½ Okay, there's my flour. Might need to get a bigger bowl. Okay, and then we need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. These cookies are really nice because you don't, I do line my baking sheet with parchment paper, but they don't stick, and you can put, they don't spread. They will puff up a little because of the baking powder, but they don't spread. So you can put them really close together and get a lot more cookies on your sheet, more than the 12. You can probably get like 18. And now we need a teaspoon of salt. Good. And a teaspoon of cinnamon. I've had this recipe for years and years. I don't know if I got it from my mom or where I got it from, from a book or something, but this is my tried and true. This is the one I always use. And to that now we're going to add a cup of butter. I'm going to mix my dry ingredients just a little, just to kind of get the baking powder. Baking powder. Just to get everything mixed in. Just make sure it's all incorporated before you mix. You're going to be stirring it anyway. So now I need 1 cup of butter. I just use the tub margarine. I mean, if you like using actual butter, go for it. But as I said in my other videos, I've used actual butter when it is pricey here. So I've used it when it's been on sale. And honestly, I don't find the difference in the taste of the baked goods. Some people say butter makes your cookies taste richer, taste better. I don't know. I've never noticed. My kids have never noticed any difference. So I'm just going to go with the good cheap stuff. Budget friendly. That's what we're all about here. So now we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. The original recipe called for a teaspoon of vanilla and a teaspoon of lemon extract. When I first did it, I wasn't fond of the lemony flavor. I love lemon. I'll make lemon squares. But just in the cookies, it just doesn't seem right. So now I just use vanilla. And now we need 1½ cups of sugar. Half. 1 and 1½. Now, depending on how big your cookie cutters are, will depend on the amount of cookies you can get. You can get anywhere from like 6 dozen to 2 or 3 dozen, because if you're using great big cookie cutters. I'm using my little dino shaped cookie cutters, so they're not gonna, I'll have lots of them. And I probably will make, some flowers or just something extra when I send Pickle his dinos. And nader potato wants snake shape, so which is just rolling it. I don't have a cookie cutter for that. So, I'll just do that. And then I'll have extra dough to roll out, and I'll just make whatever, just round ones for us to have. So I need 1/4 cup of milk and 2 eggs, and that is it. That is the ingredients: flour, baking powder, salt, cinnamon, butter, vanilla, sugar, milk, and eggs. Pretty easy, standard stuff that you've already got in your pantry, stuff that you can put on your weekly grocery list that is not expensive, and it's not anything extra that you wouldn't normally buy unless you're not a baker and you're just starting out. Then you want to go ahead and fill up your cupboard. Now I start off mixing this with the spoon just to kind of get everything sort of incorporated as much as possible. Then I'm going to use my hands. Now I have washed my hands very thoroughly before I started this video. So this is the best way to mix this in. Everything gets mixed in, and you can feel the texture, if it's good to be rolled out. If it's a little bit sticky, if it's not going to roll too well, you can add a titch more milk. If it's a bit too wet, you can, if it's sticky, you can add more flour, backwards here. And if it's dry, you can add a titch more milk. But, you know, so there, I got it. Somewhat. I should have used a bigger bowl. I would have gotten a lot further had I used my giant cookie bowl. I have one bowl that's very, very big that I use for this recipe. It just makes it easier to mix in. So, you know, just mix it up, squeeze it, and, you know, keep turning it. Make sure you get everything incorporated. Pick it up from the bottom and stir it around. Now this is starting to feel real good. I don't know if I'll have to add anything more. I still have some dry ingredients still stuck to the bottom of the bowl here. And half of it's on my counter because I'm being sloppy. So we're going to just, now what I'm going to do is just going to go ahead, switch all my ingredients and measuring tools out of the way, screw them right up, and I'm going to just dump this right out. This is my table, but it's going to be my rolling area for to roll the cookies. And then I'm just going to go ahead and mix it, or sorry, you know, just mix it, I guess is the right word. I'm just going to go ahead and get it all incorporated into a ball. Now when my boys are over, I make the dough, and I give them each a rolling pin. I've got small ones for the little guys and the big one for my biggest guy. And I flour the table, and I get out all the cookie cutters, and I let them have it. I taught them how to roll cookies, how to roll them out, and you know, it's not hard to do. You just flour your board and get your rolling pin and have at it. And they have a great time. You know, they get a little bit tired halfway through, you know. Now, if I was doing this by myself, which is it, I would just move everything and roll the whole ball of dough out all at once, because, you know, the less time you have to roll it is, it's better for the cookies, because then they don't get dried out if you have to roll and roll and roll. And I am adding about 1/4 cup more flour, because it is a little bit on the sticky side, and it won't roll very well. It'll stick to everything. So I'm just going to add a little bit more flour. You don't really necessarily need it in like you would a loaf of bread, but just mix it. So just you know, so it's a good texture. Okay, so I'm going to take half of this, and only for my area that I've got to work. Now you want to put flour on your board and push it down, turn it over and push it so both sides are covered with the flour so it doesn't stick anywhere. And with your rolling pin, you want to take a little flour in your hand like this and just rub it on your rolling pin. Just give it a little coat like that. There we go. And now easy peasy. Now if you want them a thicker cookie, keep in mind that the bake time will be longer. And if you have some, you want to always try to get cookies like this the same thickness, because if you have some that are thick and some that are real thin, obviously the thin ones are going to cook first, and either they'll burn before the other ones are done, or the bigger ones won't cook. So there, it's about, I don't know if you can see that or not, it's about you know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch thick. So then you just take your cookie cutters. This is a T-Rex. We're going to put that right in there. give it a push, and there you go. Whoops, there's a T-Rex. And all his, I think, oh, it's half his head. That one, that was a fail. So that's okay, because when you have to re-roll the dough, his head fell off. Sometimes I just sprinkle a little flour in or on the cookie cutters as well, or on the dough. His head fell off, so we're going to make another one. Just give it a push, sometimes a little wiggle, and let's see. Come on there, T. There we go. There is a T-Rex cookie for my pickle. And that's what that looks like. And we're going to put that on our parchment lined paper, our baking sheet. And I'll make some more. These take about 7 minutes to bake. And with this thickness, you don't want any, maybe even 6. I start my timer at 6. And, oh, there goes the Diplodocus. His head fell off too. I don't know what is happening with these guys here today. You know, start off with 6 minutes or so. Again, it'll depend on the thickness. How thick your cookies are, they might need a couple extra minutes. There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out some of these guys and get the first batch in the oven and show you what they look like. Now, you can frost them or put sprinkles or whatever. When the boys are here, they usually, if they're making dinosaurs or something like this, obviously you don't need to frost it. But when they make other cookies, you know, especially at Christmas time, we have a good time making Christmas cookies. I use the same recipe, and I make what I call painted sugar cookies at Christmas. And what I do is cut out my designs, my shapes, like wreaths and Christmas trees and angels, and I've got such a big, huge collection of cookie cutters. And you take in small bowls, or I find that your muffin pans work a lot quicker, a lot better. And you take it, and in your muffin pans, you take a little bit of honey, and like about a teaspoon, or you can use corn syrup, and you take a little dab of food coloring, and then literally go to the dollar store, buy some paintbrushes. Only use these paintbrushes for your baking. I put mine in a baggie, and they're in with my cookie cutters. I don't use them for anything else. And you do this before the cookies are baked, and you paint on the design, like you paint the cookies, and when they bake, that color bakes into them, and it's like a muted color. It's not a real bright color, but it's they're so pretty. And you know, I have used icing sugar and frosted them after. So you know, if you want to go that route, that takes a little bit longer than oopsie, I'm getting too close here. That takes a little bit longer, obviously, than it does to paint. They both take about the same amount of time. It's just that when you paint them, you put them in the oven, they're done, they're done. So there is a whole tray full of dinos. Now, the first time one guy lost his head, this guy lost a bit of his tail. But you know what? Dinosaurs got into a lot of battles, so it happens. We're just going to go with that one. He has a small tail. And our little, I don't know if this is a Diplodocus or if it's a, I don't know. My brain is not working right today. I'm drawing a blank. If anybody knows what the big guy is with the big long neck, because I'm forgetting here for a minute. I'll think of it eventually. Anyway, so there it is. There is sugar cookies. So I'm going to pop these into the oven. And for the snake that Nader wants, all I do is take some of the dough and literally just roll it into a long, you want it pretty thin. Again, if it's thick like this, it's going to bake at different temperatures than the, let me scoop this out of the way. I'm going to roll it until it's not thin, because you don't want it to be, you know, that's no good. So then we're going to take a little bit, you just pinch it at the neck here, and that makes it like his head. And what I would do is toothpick here, and I'm just going to push it in like that to open up his mouth, and kind of go like this to make his fangs, if I can. There we go. Just pinch it, and there you go. That's semi fangs, and then you can make them all wiggly wobbly. I'm going to put him on my cookie sheet, and we'll go ahead and bake these guys off, and we'll show you what they look like when they're baked. Honestly, the appearance doesn't change much. It just gets a little darker color. I'll set my timer for 6 minutes and see what happens from there. So that is my sugar cookie recipe. Short and sweet, real easy. I'll finish rolling these out after. Now for my next recipe, I've done this one before on my channel, but it was a little bit different. I did a recipe a while back that were, my native potato wants peanut butter cookies. I did it on my video, and I said it was missing an ingredient, and whoever was the first commenter to tell me what was missing on the recipe, I would send them a copy of my recipes. And there was one girl that commented back, so she got a little booklet with all my recipes. Now this one is my classic peanut butter cookies. It's not that, what was I made before were flourless peanut butter cookies. That was the missing ingredient. So if you can't have gluten and you don't want to buy the special flour, then you can just use, you can just go ahead and have the flourless peanut butter cookies. They taste exactly the same. You would not know that there was flour missing out of that cookie. So now I'm going to start. I'll show you how to make the peanut butter cookies, and by then the dinosaurs and the snake will be done. So into your bowl you put 1 cup of butter. Now this one is pretty much, kind of dump and go, but you do have to do a little bit of extra mixing at the beginning. You have to incorporate the sugars and the butter and stuff together. You can't just throw it all in. It needs to be mixed in. So there's 1 cup of butter. That goes in. And now we need 1 cup of peanut butter. And the hint here, peanut butter is just like honey or anything. It kind of sticks into your baking pans or your mixing bowls or measuring cups, whatever. And that's why if you put the butter in first, then this is just going to slide out. It's not going to stick. So there we go. 1 cup of peanut butter goes into there. And it just, look at that, perfectly nice and clean. You got a little, that's what's left in the mixing cup. You got it all out because put the butter in first, and that's what happens. I'll stick that over there. Now we need 1 cup of white sugar. Half a cup. There's a lot of sugar in these. If you're on a diet, don't eat these peanut butter cookies. You got both white sugar and brown sugar. So 1 cup of white sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. And again, remember my tip from before when I made things, you always want to, when you're measuring brown sugar, you want to pack it down nice and tight. You want to just push it in, make sure it's in there real tight. And do that. Say that was half a cup, and here's a cup. I've never known exactly why they want you to pack it, but all the recipes and all the chefs that I've ever watched all said the same thing. Pack it in there. So there we go. Now you've got the sugars and the butter. So we're going to cream that together. We're going to mix that all in together. Your butter and your sugars. 1 cup of white sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar, and 1 cup of butter. And just get that all stirred in nice. You don't want these to be a wet cookie. You can, if the dough is too wet, you can put it in the fridge for like an hour, half an hour, before you start to roll them, because these are you need to use your hands and roll them to put them on the cookie sheet. So you want them nice and dry, you know, kind of a dryish cookie. You don't want to be able to. Now that obviously is you couldn't use. So here, once we get the dry ingredients, we'll be good. So over there, you've got all the butters and the sugars mixed in. And now we mix in our eggs. We need 2 eggs. My nice farm fresh eggs from my son's chickens. So he'll have to, he'll get some cookies when he gets home from work tonight. There we go. 2 eggs goes in and you mix those in. And once you get this all in, then we're going to add all of our dry ingredients. So again, it's easy. These are all ingredients that you already would have in your cupboard if you are a baker or even a cook. You know, you have eggs and milk and butter. You have all that kind of stuff in. There we go. Nice and creamy. Okay, so now we're going to add the dry ingredients. And the dry ingredients are 2½ cups of flour. And again, if it's real wet, add a little bit more or chill them. I find that I just add a little bit more flour because then I don't have to wait. Okay, my timer went off on my oven. I'm just going to check on our roll and cut cookies. Now they're going to need another couple of minutes. They're soft, but they're like soft to the touch, but you don't want them real soft. You want them not crispy, but you know, kind of in between. So I'm going to give them 2 more minutes while I'm finishing off the peanut butter cookies. So now I need 2½ cups of flour. Half a cup. 1 cup. 1½ and 2 cups. Okay. And we need 1½ teaspoons of baking soda. There's no baking powder in peanut butter cookies. They don't rise. You don't need to have them rise. 1 teaspoon. 1½ teaspoon. So sprinkle that all the way around so it's not just all in one big blob. Because, I mean, baking soda has a really not very good taste. I mean, it will be mixed, but this way it can be a little bit more incorporated. Okay. And let's see. Baking powder. Okay, sorry, baking soda, flour. Yep, baking powder. There's a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm sorry. Beg your pardon. There is a teaspoon. I don't know why I said there wasn't. I was thinking of something else, I guess. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So, okay, butter, peanut butter, sugar, brown sugar, baking soda, eggs, flour, baking powder, and a little bit of salt. Everything is in there. We're going to mix it up real carefully. I just use my glass bowl so you all can see what it looks like because my big cookie bowl is a solid color and you wouldn't be able to see anything being mixed. We're just going to very carefully mix this all in. You know, if a little bit slops all over the counter, then you know what, you just pick it up and clean it off and it's not a big deal. And there's our timer again, so I'm going to take my cookies out and show you how cool the little dinosaur cookies are. They keep their shape very well. Yeah, they get perfect. Okay, so there are our, let me put them on a plate. This is not going to sit there. My Tater Tot grandson, his name is Tater Tot, and he wants the letter B. That's the letter for his first name. So there we go. Let's put these on a plate so you can see. Oh, the wiggly snake just broke. Oh dear. Have to make another one. The dinosaur bit the head off the snake, I think. That's what happened. There. So that's what the sugar cookies look like. You can see the snake with his head right there and his long body. And there is the one that I cannot remember the name for it, the big old dinosaur. And here is a T-Rex. So there it is. That how easy it is to make roll and cut cookies. It's not that time consuming, it's not that difficult. So, you know, go for it, try it. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried any of my recipes. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments, because I check my comments every so often. Probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week or so. I go in my recipes and I see if there's anybody has requested a certain baked good or meal, you know, main course, side dish, whatever it is. So there we go, and this is looking pretty darn good. It's not too sticky looking. Again, if it is, I usually just add a titch more flour. I don't put it in and, you know, wait. I'm too impatient when it comes to crafting or baking. I like to just, when I'm in, I gotta just get it done. I don't like to wait. So this one, I'm going to put these on my baking sheet. It's pretty straightforward. You take a ball, you know, like the size of a walnut. I mean, if you want bigger cookies, go for it. You just take a little ball and roll it in a circle and put it down. That's about the right size. You don't want them too much bigger. These will spread, so you do have to put them a couple inches apart on the cookie sheet. Now, this is just right, just the right consistency. You can roll them, get up and roll it, and it doesn't stick to your hands and get all over the place. So these are for Nader Potato, and for the rest of us too, but he requested Grandma make him peanut butter cookies. They did move away. It'll be, I believe, 2 years this Christmas, so I have to either drive up to where they are or just mail them. And now with our lovely state the world is in, I'm just going to mail them, because we don't want to go and visit and go into homes and stuff. A little bit too big right now, even though they're family, but they're not living in this area. So unfortunately, we don't get to see them very often, but that's okay, because I mean, we still get in touch, we still talk every day, and we go up to where they are, and if it's a nice enough day, we can hang out outside with their masks and, you know, visit. So now, what you do with these is you take a fork and you dip it in some flour and you push it down gently. You don't want to push it, you don't want to smash it, like make them too flat, but you just give it a little push. This is traditional peanut butter cookies. You don't have to do this. You can just leave them in a ball or just flatten them with your hand. But traditional peanut butter cookies has this little crisscross. So they're, I guess these days they'd call them hashtags, wouldn't it? It looks like a hashtag. There we go. And if it starts sticking on your cookie, just dip it in the flour again. That flour that's on the top of the cookie will just bake away. You won't even see that. So these go in the oven for about 8 minutes. Put these in and then show you how nice they are when they are done. I'm going to set my timer. And we'll just hang on till they're done and I'll show you. And that is what our recipes are for today, is roll out sugar cookies and classic peanut butter cookies. As always, the description will be, and the recipe will be in the description box below. If you have any comments, any questions, if you want me to make something else, just let me know. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Let's get to 50 likes. I've only reached more than 50 likes on one video. That was my Sex in a Pan chocolate cake, pudding cake, and that got over a million. That got 1.k likes. I'm really happy about that. So let's do this for this recipe. Y'all get in there and hit that like button. View this recipe and enjoy it. Okie dokie, so here are our peanut butter cookies. You look a little bit pale on my screen, but if they are nice and golden brown, this is what you want. Bottom is just nicely golden brown. They come out perfectly. So classic peanut butter cookies and sugar cookies. Roll out sugar cookies with dinosaurs. The dinosaur that I couldn't remember his name for is brontosaurus. That was the long neck guy. So leave a comment below what you think, that if you tried the recipes and how they worked out, and if you want me to make anything, let me know. Have a good day, stay safe, and keep baking. Bye now.